Hello everyone and welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. I hope you're feeling that bright, unstoppable energy we love in this community because today's story has the kind of warmth, honesty, and quiet suspense that keeps us talking long after the video ends. We're stepping into a chapter that many of you have waited for, whispered about, and dreamed of seeing unfold publicly. Demet Özdemir has opened up in a way she rarely does, and the topic is none other than her deeply guarded bond with Kenyaman. Yes, the headline said it, and yes, it's exactly as heart-stirring as you imagine. She has peeled back the curtain just enough to give us a more intimate view, sharing glimpses we hadn't seen before and, above all, letting us feel the truth behind one of the most captivating and beloved pairings in Turkish entertainment. Prepare for a wave of emotions and a handful of details that fit together like puzzle pieces. Before we jump in, a quick but meaningful reminder. If you haven't yet joined the family here at Secrets Behind the Stars, that red subscribe button is your invitation. Turn on the notifications so every time we bring you something special like this, you're the first to know. It's free, it's easy, and it keeps this community connected. Now, let's get to the heart of it. The news that's rippled through the Turkish celebrity world, and honestly through fans everywhere, is that Demet has chosen to be a little more candid about her relationship with Can. You and I have traveled this path together for years, ever since Demet and Can lit up our screens in Erkenci Kus. They were crowned, almost effortlessly, as the dream duo. Their chemistry didn't just sparkle, it radiated with that rare electricity that feels anchored in something real. It became increasingly hard for anyone to watch them on screen and not wonder what life looked like when the cameras stopped. Fans sensed it early, and time proved that intuition wasn't misplaced. Still, if there's one thing they've protected with almost sacred care, it's their privacy. They have been deliberate, cautious, and wise about the parts of their world they keep for themselves. And yet, there are moments when the public's affection and the non-stop curiosity in the press nudge open a window, just enough to let a soft breeze of truth in. That's what happened recently. Demet spoke at a public event and, in a series of understated but significant remarks, she offered a portrait of what it means to love, to be loved, and to endure together when fame is a constant companion. What exactly did she reveal? Don't expect anything scandalous or sensational for the sake of it. That's not who they are. What she shared is quieter, richer, and more meaningful than any tabloid headline. She talked about balance and understanding in a life where the spotlight chases you whether you want it or not. Multiple outlets picked up her words, capturing the essence of what she meant, and the picture that emerges is one of patience, mutual care, and a partnership grounded in values that you can't fake. Demet emphasized what it's like to have a partner who truly understands the mechanics of public life. She described how being with someone who has walked through the same fire, the endless attention, the intense expectations, the unpredictable tides of praise and critique, changes everything. With Can, she said, the conversation doesn't have to begin with explanations. He recognizes the pressure without her needing to translate it, and she understands his reality without turning it into a lecture. It's a kind of comfort that's rare and stabilizing. And honestly, it's something we've all caught a glimpse of in those unspoken exchanges between them, the quiet eye contact at events, the subtle body language, the way they inhabit a moment together without needing to announce it. But what really gripped people was Demet's reflection on how they've kept their bond intact in a climate where speculation hums constantly. She spoke about respect as a cornerstone, and communication not as a buzzword but as an everyday practice. Over time, she explained, they learned where the lines needed to be drawn. They listened to the love from fans while remembering that a relationship needs oxygen to breathe, not cameras to survive. So they built their own small sanctuary, a bubble only big enough for two. Where silence is allowed, where ordinary moments are protected, and where the focus isn't on performing love but living it. Demet also described the way Can fuels her, not just in romance but in ambition and courage. She painted him as someone with a kinetic energy that doesn't just move a room, it lifts the people he loves. His perspective on risk, on trying and failing and trying again, makes her braver. He challenges her in the ways that matter. To expand, to grow, to choose herself when it would be easier to hide. And in return, you sense that her steadiness, her empathy, and her ability to find joy in the little things bring him a kind of peace. In that exchange, something profound is formed, deeper than magnetic screen presence, sturdier than a picture-perfect image. It's companionship. Of course, the conversation wouldn't be complete without addressing the drumbeat of rumors that follow any high-profile couple. Demet didn't indulge the noise. Instead, she spoke with the kind of poise that only comes from experience. In the beginning, the whispers felt invasive, she admitted. It's natural to feel rattled when strangers narrate your life. But over time, they learn to let most of it pass through. If she knows her truth and he knows his, and the people closest to them understand what's real, then the rest doesn't hold power. What matters is the life they're actually living, not the one others invent for them. Another thread that struck a chord was Demet's affection for the simple rituals they share. Yes, they can step into the most glamorous rooms. Yes, there are premieres, galas, and flights that make you dizzy just keeping up. But what they treasure most are the quiet evenings, the homemade dinners, the movie that starts late because conversation ran long, the walk where no one needs to speak. These are the moments that refill the well. In their world, ordinary time becomes precious, and that's where they rebuild after long days and challenging weeks. There was also a hint, tantalizing and carefully measured, about what might lie ahead. Demet was cautious, as always, but she left the door open just enough. The future is unwritten, and they plan to keep standing behind one another. She didn't confirm a project, but she didn't shut the possibility down either. For fans who still dream of watching them team up again, the suggestion alone was enough to set hearts racing. It was less a promise and more an intention. Wherever their paths lead, support is non-negotiable. What stands out after hearing her speak is how grounded their foundation appears to be. Strip away the fame, the timelines, the endless commentary, and what you find are values that don't go out of style: respect, honesty, trust, and reciprocity. They've learned how to ride the rough waves without capsizing, not because they're perfect, but because they keep returning to the fundamentals. Privacy isn't a fortress to them, it's a garden they tend together. And love, in their story, isn't fireworks every night, it's endurance, softness, and choice. Listening to Demet talk about all of this, you could feel the serenity in her tone. It wasn't defensive or performative. It felt like someone who has traveled through noise and found a volume that suits her. That calm is contagious, and for everyone who has rooted for them from the beginning, it's a relief. The picture she drew wasn't of a fairy tale but of a partnership that's taking the long way home, refusing shortcuts and embracing the real work. So what did we take away from these moments she shared? We saw how vital it is to be with someone who understands the cost of visibility, how important it is to know when to draw a curtain around your home and say, "This stays here." We watched how inspiration can move in both directions, shaping careers and character all at once. We saw how even the most dazzling lives can crave the ordinary, and how that ordinary can be a lifeline. And yes, we learned how they handle the echo chamber of rumor, by choosing what to carry and what to put down. All of this points to something resilient. The fans who fell in love with them during Erkenci Kuss recognized sparks, but what time has revealed is a slow-burning flame. It's not immune to stormy days, but it's been built with care. That's why this moment matters, because Demet didn't give us a spectacle, she gave us a reflection, one that reaffirms why so many people admire them, not just as stars, but as people navigating a complicated world side by side. Thank you for joining us on this thoughtful walk through their story. We loved preparing it, stitching together her words and the quiet emotions between the lines. Now I want to hear from you. Did Demet's reflections surprise you? Did you sense, as many did, that what they've built rests on something unshakable? Tell us what part resonated most. Was it their approach to privacy, the way they champion each other's dreams, or the commitment to tiny rituals that make love feel alive? If this touched you, give the video a like. It tells us we're on the right track and helps more fans find this community. Share it with your friends who followed every behind-the-scenes whisper from their early days to now. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and ring that bell so you never miss the stories that matter. We'll be here with more narratives, more moments that make you feel connected, and more love for the world that keeps us fascinated. Until next time, thank you for your time, your kindness, and your curiosity. We'll see you in the next video with more stories, more insights, and the same heart that brought you here today. A warm hug to each of you, from our studio to wherever you are, and a little wish: may your ordinary moments feel extraordinary tonight. Before we close, let's circle back to one last image, because it might be the key to understanding everything Demet shared. Picture two people whose lives were thrust into a glow that rarely dims. Picture them choosing, over and over, to speak softly to each other even when the world is loud. Picture the dinner where phones stay face down, the laugh that breaks a long day, the glance that says, "I know what you're carrying." Fame can magnify, but it can also distort. What Demet described is a relationship that insists on focus, on choosing what to enlarge and what to let shrink into the background. And what they enlarge, respect, patience, laughter, courage, may be the very things that keep them steady. And for those of you wondering if we'll ever see them share the screen again, consider this: the strongest on-screen magic is often born from an off-screen truth. If they decide to create together again, it will be because the timing is right and the story deserves them. And if not, what we already have, a glimpse into how they care for each other, is powerful in its own right. Sometimes the most compelling love stories aren't told in loud declarations but in quiet choices made daily. This is the kind of chapter that lingers. It leaves us with more feeling than facts, more tenderness than timelines. But maybe that's the point. In a world that tries to count everything, some things are meant to be felt. That, more than anything, might be the real headline today. Thank you again for being here with us at Secrets Behind the Stars. Your presence makes these conversations fuller, brighter, and more meaningful. Leave your thoughts below. We read them, we learn from them, and we carry them into the next story. Until then, take care of yourselves and the people you love. We'll be back soon, and as always, with all our love.